Hi, good morning. My name is Natalie Havens. I am one of the school counselors here at Spanish River. Thank you for joining us. We also have Mrs. Riggle, our college and career counselor, and Mrs. Passatempo. She is another school counselor here at Spanish River. So today, our Coffee with the Counselors, the topic is community service and information on the SAT and ACT. We actually also have another test that we'll briefly talk about called the CLT. We'll go ahead and get started. So for community service, we have some guidelines that are listed on our website. This presentation will be posted on our website, like all of our coffee talks are. And you can click right here. It says click here for the service guidelines. They do have to be non-paid volunteer work for a nonprofit organization. There are 20 hours that are required. So for instance, we even told the 8th graders who are coming to us, majority are from Omni. So we went to Omni. We also went to Don Estridge and told the 8th graders, as soon as you complete 8th grade, you can start working on those community service hours. We do ask them to be all turned in by December 1st of their junior year. So of 11th grade year. So they have about 3 years to get all of the 20 hours done. And there's so many ways to get that done, whether it's churches or synagogues, YMCA, JCC, beach cleanups. There are some letters to elders that we'll talk about that you don't even need to physically go anywhere. You can write letters and collect community service hours. When a community service hours are done, or just even like one part of them done, there's a form and they're on our website. This is a little picture of what it looks like. The student fills this out, has a supervisor sign it, and then it's emailed to Mrs. Mara Gorin, and she's over our community service department. Oops. So here are just some community service opportunities. There are a lot more, but we just wanted to give you a little sample. You can always check our school website. We linked it here. If you go onto our school website and go under students and parents, you'll see on the left side, community service. But we did put a quick link in there for you guys if you're looking at this presentation and want to click on it. There are some other opportunities listed on volunteermatch.org or discover.pbcgov.org. So that we linked those as well, because I know for Volunteer Match, you can put in your zip code and it just pulls up a variety of options. Another one that's popular here at school, one of our teachers, Mrs. Domino, she heads up Blessing Blankets Made with Love. And so she provides all the materials and students can make blankets. Again, they don't really have to physically go anywhere. They're making the blankets and they can earn community service hours that way. Any school counselor on here can interject. I believe they're for animals in need, but perhaps it's for other things too. And then their letter for elders, which I mentioned briefly. I linked the website on there. You write a letter for some elders who are in nursing homes and just kind of help to brighten their day. When you go on the website, it lists the names of the elders. Right now, there's, I think, about 6 listed, and each month there's new people who are listed. So you can write one letter, 5 sentences, and you can turn that in to Mrs. Wheatley, and that's a half an hour for one letter. So those are great ways to earn community service hours if it's the student's not available or maybe doesn't have transportation to go somewhere and provide their time. Another one that just popped up to us, it is on March 25th at 8 a.m. It is at Delray Beach. So I kind of posted that picture up here too. Now to talk about the college entrance exams, SAT, the Scholastic Achievement Test. So the SAT is structured in 2 sections. There's a reading and writing section that's 64 minutes long. It has 2 32-minute modules and 54 questions. Then there's a math section that's 70 minutes long with 2 35-minute modules and has a total of 44 questions. And it's important to note that the SAT is now, as of this month, solely offered digitally. So it's no more paper based. So it's only offered digitally. The maximum score, it's still scored on that same level. Each section, it could be 800 points maximum. And there's the link to collegeboard.org for more information. All of our students here were offered the PSAT for our 9th and 10th graders. Those score reports were released November 16th, so you can find them on College Board. The student created a College Board account. It's also listed in SIS under the testing results or the testing screen. The SAT day that was offered to all our juniors. So it's a free SAT that we offer to all of our juniors. That was on March 7th. Those scores are going to be viewable typically 2 to 3 weeks after the test. So we're hoping to see those results shortly after spring break. And students, just so you guys can plan ahead, we do recommend that students should plan to take the SAT and ACT the spring of their junior year. For the SAT or the PSAT, there's a code provided on that score report, and it's really helpful because it links to Khan Academy. So Khan Academy is a free resource and study guide, and it links to this like questions that the student missed and it helps them study for it. So it can really up the score, and it's a great free resource. It is work for the student, but we really encourage students and families to encourage their student to do that when possible. They can access this on that collegeboard.org and then go to that code provided. The PSAT My College Quick Start link has personalized feedback. It's practice and college planning based on their results. Now for the American College Test, the ACT. That one is a little bit different. It has 4 sections: English, math, reading, and a science section. So we find that sometimes students score higher in an ACT, especially if they're science-minded. So we recommend trying both if possible to see which one the student really excels at or maybe feels more comfortable with. The maximum score for the ACT is a 36. And they get this score with a composite score that averages the 4 test scores, rounded to the nearest whole number. The structure, it's 4 multiple choice sections. So for English, it's 45 minutes and there's 75 questions. Math is 60 minutes with 60 questions. Reading is 35 minutes with 40 questions. And science is 35 minutes with 40 questions. There's an optional writing section too. And you can find more information at act.org. Now we just put a little comparison chart on here for you guys to take a look, just to see. All colleges allow super scores, so you can combine sections on the SAT or you can combine the sections on the ACT to maximize the highest score. So if a student did better on a reading section for the SAT and then a math section on the next SAT, they combine those scores. So for SAT, now it's only available digitally, whereas ACT, it's paper-based. The SAT is 134 minutes or 2 hours and 14 minutes, whereas the ACT is 2 hours and 55 minutes, so slightly longer. Compared to the ACT, the SAT provides 68% more time per question. So that's important to note as a comparison. The structure for the SAT is 2 sections: reading and writing, and then math. For the ACT, there's 4 multiple choice sections: English, math, reading, and then science. So it's important to note that science part. The digital SAT does allow for calculator use for the entire math section now. It used to be a little different, but it offers it for the entire math section. And ACT, you also can use a calculator on the math section. For SAT, like we talked about, the score is anywhere from 400 to 1600, whereas the ACT is 1 to 36. Both are offered 7 times annually, and you sign up by going to their respective websites. There's a new test that we're just going to talk about briefly. It is very brand new to us this year. It's called the CLT, and it can be used for Bright Futures. We are using it for some of our students who need a concordant score or a reading score in order to graduate. So we are using it for those 2 things. So we have heard that some colleges might be able to view this. We're just not sure how they're going to view it or what scores they're going to be looking for because it's so brand new, but it's something to just note. And the website there is cltexam.com. That's really it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll take questions now, but let me go ahead and turn off the recording. If you're watching, thanks for watching.